They're out in the woods when they cross paths with Dame Edna, Madam Munchmoney, who they met in the previous season. Flashing back to the last episode she was in, we see that after Snubbull was let out into a large wooded area to roam in, it just left and didn't come back. I'll make a joke about what Madam Munchmoney must have been doing to that Snubbull to make it run away, but anyone who has ever owned a dog knows that you can give a dog all the love, care, and attention in the world, and the moment it sees a wide open front door, it will dart out to run around in traffic. You are my best friend, Kenny. To their credit, Madam Munchmoney and her butler Jeeves travelled across the land searching far and wide for Snubbull, and she's gotten swole from this. I would applaud an autumn-yeared woman for getting into shape like this, but Jeeves' worried expression at this hints a less than savoury story. Brockwurst feels particularly fond of Madam Munchmoney's newly developed physique, showing he's a man of no limited taste. We learn that Snubbull ran away because it developed an obsession with Meowth's tail, seeing it as part chew toy, part item of intense sexual desire. You think I'm exaggerating for comedic effect?
Go ahead, bite my tail all day long if that's what you want. I love it.
Later when they find the Snubbull and it goes home, it's fantasizing about seeing Meowth and his tail in the moon. Someone get this dog a plastic collar already. Wising up to this, Team Rocket plan to capture and ransom Snubbull and use Meowth as bait. A newly escaped Snubbull sees that Johto trees bear a strange fruit. She evolves into a Gramble, so Team Rocket take out the big guns with the same boxing Meowth mech from 9 episodes ago. This show has to count as a mecha anime by now. The rose James sometimes holds is even inspired by Leonardo Bundle from the Shogun, which I talked about in one of my older videos. I'll tell you this for free, Pokémon has been such a merchandising behemoth for so long, if I worked at Nintendo or Bandai, I would say it's worth a shot at branching out into making model kits based off Team Rocket's various vehicles. In a similar vein to Gunpla models, I would totally buy a model kit of this. Gramble murks Team Rocket, she gets happily reunited with Madam Munchmoney, and Jeeves becomes the inspiration for a now long forgotten search engine. They cross paths with Aya, who they met in Season 1. She takes them to the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, where Brockstar Energy Drink decides he wants to enroll so Aya can be his tutor with the hope she'll groom him in a scandal that will end up all over the news. Panko instantly self-destructs upon hearing this idea. Panko needs a mental wellness check. They all decide to train as ninjas, wearing the Sonic Tails and Knuckles colours. Misty gets put in the beauty course of this Jiu-Jitsu school because she's a girl. Team Rocket decide to steal all the students' Pokémon, and they actually do. How ironic is it that a ninja school gets their Pokémon stolen right under their noses? Tokichi handguards up to Team Rocket and punctures their hot air balloon with his shuriken stars. Why do they keep using this balloon? This happens to it almost every episode it's in. They'd be better off with just a 3-seat bicycle at this point. Other than the routine Team Rocket shenanigans, this episode is kind of uneventful. A Yanma wastes no time stealing Ash's hat. This Yanma belongs to a boy named Zachary who can't stop the Yanma from using the beat of its wings to break shop windows. Christ on a unicycle, that guy could have been blinded by those shards of glass. When I was a kid, I saw a guy's forearm get glassed. It was covered in blood and was peppered with glass shards sticking out of it. It was the most intense thing I'd ever seen. If I was Zachary's dad, I'd convince him to give Yanma the old yellow treatment. Just buy him a big Lego set afterwards to fill the void. Yeah, never mind. I don't know, just get him a Red Dwarf box set or something. When Zachary says goodbye to his Yanma, it would be more touching if the Yanma showed any emotion. Why are you crying, son? That Yanma doesn't care. Look at its expressionless insectoid face. The Yanma falls in with the wrong crowd, and before you can say auto glass repair, auto glass replace, Team Rocket use it to break the town's windows and sell them replacements. Any scammer, government, or non-profit organization will tell you that creating a problem and selling a solution is a surefire way to rake in the dough. Only they sell ice instead of glass windows. Honestly, if you think sheets of ice are glass windows, you deserve to be conned. But we all know dear Zachary gets his Yanma back and Team Rocket gets their comeuppance by the end. Why did that cart explode? It was just full of ice. They're just contractually obligated to blast off again in every episode. Ash is challenged by an unimaginative kid who named his Skiploon Skippy. When Ash wins, Misty chastises him for winning. It's a Pokemon battle, of course the losing Pokemon is going to get smacked. We're over 170 episodes in, is this new to you? The Skiploon even gets back up. They get invited home where they're told about a local tournament for only grass-type Pokemon. If only Pokemon with the same type are allowed to compete, wouldn't that make the fights long and drawn out, because they'd be resistant to each other's attacks? The brutal spectators of this town definitely want to get their money's worth. Team Rocket sign up as well, but since they only have one grass Pokemon, they dress Meowth as a Sunflora. Look how they disguise themselves. They could have gone incognito in casual clothing, but no, their dedication to the craft makes them dress like they're about to summon a genie. Since you don't see Meowth fight often, you'd think it wouldn't be worth sending him into the ring, but he nearly clears Ash's Bulbasaur, the same Bulbasaur Ash has been training for most of the series so far. and with low damage attacks like Scratch, Fake Out, and Fury Swipes. I guess constantly working on schemes must have kept Meowth in shape. But after Meowth gets unmasked, it eventually comes down to Bulbasaur versus Skiploom. Skiploom Masenko's Bulbasaur with a solo beam at the last minute and wins. Hopefully this isn't where his career peaks, or you just know this is what he'll brag about as his life's biggest achievement when he's a bitter adult.